Greg can't be here tonight. He passed away a couple of years ago. And my wife and I decided to put him in for this honor. And my wife Rita did all the heavy lifting to do this. And we're so honored that he was chosen. Greg's family worked very hard for him to succeed. He was an only child, and after his passing, his mother lived one more year, and she died at the age of 100. There are now no longer any pages left. So we are very happy to see his name up on the wall at Dordt, because he was such a special person to us. I met Greg when I was in kindergarten, and the two of us sort of were mismatched. I was a little thin Jewish kid, and he was a much bigger African-American kid with green eyes. And I don't know what our attraction was to each other, but once we met each other, that was it. We were friends in kindergarten. We never had another class together all the way through grade school. We always had the opposite teacher, but we were always friends. I don't know what it was. What drove us together later in grade school was this, was music. And this is Greg's trumpet.
Yeah, I remember that, baby.
Dale played a little bit with him in high school.
Right.
But I was the one who sort of, I think, brought Greg down in life. And you laugh when I say that, but his dad was very strict and had him practice, had him study, and my dad had passed away when I was young. And I was sort of fooling around a lot. And so we went to district and state musical things. I played trombone, he played trumpet, and he would get first, and I would get second. And we did duets together, and we get second when I was playing duet with him. We do quartets together. Occasionally we get first if somebody else helped out. But it always seemed like I was the one who wasn't studying and Greg was going to do well. And he certainly has proved that. Quincy didn't say about Greg, I was singing in that same group. And I think I said to Greg, maybe you should catch Quincy. And the other thing is I was sitting on that bench on the basketball team with Quincy too, because I didn't play either. When we got into high school, Greg and I did have some classes together. And at that time, we met my wife. They worked together. So our lives started to be more intertwined. And at 16, he was bagging groceries and Rita was checking out things. He was a sport again, and we were in Thornton together. Thornton, and so was Dale. We won 4 state championships, Greg and first trumpet. We won twice in Springfield and twice in Oak Lawn.
All right,
Greg was exceptional. But another place where I brought him down, we had chemistry together, and we decided we'd do a project together, because the teacher said if you do a project together, maybe you'll get an extra grade. So we did a project together, and I think we made a tornado or something like that. It was so bad that we lost a grade. So we went from where we were to back a grade. The next year, Greg took something advanced in science and went to state, without me, of course. And won first. And I have to say that he didn't win first. He went on from there, and I must say that we double dated so many times. My wife and Greg and whoever he was with at the time. We went to prom together. We went to concerts together. He stood up at our wedding. He was my guy. He was my guy. But Greg went on to college, and he went on to Southern and did very well at Southern. And he did biology there and became a biologist. And he went on to do so well that he worked at a company, Johnson & Johnson, and he developed 2 groundbreaking drugs with other people on the team. He developed Remicade, and the other drug was Stellar. And those 2 drugs are biologic drugs. I don't know if anyone's familiar with biologics, but they've changed so many lives, including mine. In the late 1990s, I had psoriasis, and it was eating me up. And I also had psoriatic arthritis. And Greg said, I'm working on this drug that's going to change your life. And I started to take some of the drugs that he was manufacturing through Johnson & Johnson. And these drugs work on not only psoriasis, they work on arthritis, they work on Crohn's disease, they work on so many things. And there are other drugs that, like Emerald and Humira, or these drugs that he worked on were the basis of these things. So Greg has really changed millions of people's lives by his expertise. In closing, I miss him every day. This horn that I have with me, maybe you thought when I brought it up here that I was going to play something, but no other lips are going to go on this horn except for my friend Greg's. It sits in our living room on a stand. I have a stand behind me, and it's sort of near the TV. So I'm looking at the TV, and I'm looking at my friend Greg. I miss him every day. We really appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Jankel Powers. I'm not Nancy's sister, just her best friend from high school back in 1968. And we're still great friends. She was very honored and so happy to be inducted in this Hall of Fame. She didn't want to miss this, but she just had a grandbaby. And she had plans to make it here. She couldn't. She needed to help her daughter and her family, and she's got this car show, but she was putting off the car show, but she couldn't put off the grandbaby. But anyways, she asked me if my husband and I would come here and attend. I told her I would be honored, since I've been her friend since I was 16. I've never been asked to do this. But from a junkyard daughter to a classic car show, this lady has done tremendous. Nancy Perry, production in Arizona. She was great in Fear and Harvey, her family. And I don't know much what else I can say, but these are a few words that she asked me to say that she couldn't make it. I am very sorry I could not attend today. I am so honored to be inducted with such extraordinary people. I work very hard and do all I can to help everyone. It is how I was raised, and I am very proud to be from Harvey and from Thornton High School. Thank you all and the committee, and to my dear friend Sheila Jankel Powers. And I want Lou to say a few things because she knows, he knows more than I do about all this. Please, Lou, say a few words.
I don't want to say too much. I just want to mention a few things. Nancy was a year behind me in school, but I didn't really get to know her until 2010. Her longtime friend and companion, Tom Dreesen, was a friend of mine, and he did wonders for my my writing career. And I don't want to talk about that, but I do have a book coming out called The Greatest Escape. If you want to get it on Amazon.com or your Kindle, you can do that. But anyway, that aside, he helped me quite a bit with doing reviews of that. He invited my wife and I into the green room of Letterman when he was just going off. And that's where I met Nancy for the first time. She was a nice, sweet little girl, and I didn't really know her that well. But I actually got to meet her last year at Harvey Days, not this past Harvey Days, but the one right before that. I was dedicating some of my proceeds from one of my books to veterans that came from Thornton. And Nancy was doing a similar type of thing, and she came all the way from Arizona to do that. And we worked together on that. While we were working, I was asking about her, what does she do? And I found out this young lady does all kinds of fundraising for things that you don't even think about. It's easy for things like, well, I don't mean it, but, like for cancer and things, we all know those are worthy causes. But she finds things around her, like the Glendale Fire Department, or when somebody in her place in Arizona is down and out, she has fundraisers for them. Believe this, she actually has a thing where it's not so much she raises money, she gets together people from her community, and they gather school supplies for kids in Guatemala who don't have them. I mean, who does that, When I found out that, I said, here I am in 2015, I was very humbled, and I received this award, but all I do is write books, okay? This is somebody else. And so anyway, while I found that out, and Sheila came up here and she said, oh my God, she's hearing all these people, says, oh my God, I got to do all this talking, whatever. She said, will you help, which is fine. So I went out to my car or whatever, and I did what a lot of writers do. You close your eyes and you say, okay, what's a good way I can do this in a short period of time? And I opened my eyes, and I saw Frank Sinatra. Makes no sense to me. Then I thought, well, no way, Tommy Grayson, her longtime friend, he was the front act for him for some 13, 14 years. And then I said, yeah, and then I thought, no, that's got nothing to do with Nancy. And then I remembered why, as I was sitting down here. You see, this sounds kind of strange, and I'm going to make this very short. When I was a little kid, my parents let me stay up late at night and watch I think it was the Academy Awards. Now, you people out there, I know a lot of you, and I look at faces, you're not that old, but some of you remember when we didn't have remotes, you had to actually turn the dial. Remember that? That ancient thing? And it was in the 1950s or early 60s, and Frank Sinatra was giving away, I think it was, they call it the Irving Thalberg, I'm not sure, but it was for somebody who was very charitable. And I realized that he said something about the person that rung true to me about Nancy. And what he said was this. He said, for us celebrities or whatever it might be, he was speaking about himself, he said, it's very easy when you see a charity to throw money at it, and we get a lot of recognition for it. It's another thing when you have to actually get off your keister and actually work for the charity. Of course, I remember turning to my dad and says, Dad, what's a keister? My dad looked at me and said, son, they can't say ass on television. So anyway, yeah, so I remember he had said this, and I realized Nancy is this person that works hard for this kind of stuff. But his line, and I think he gave the award to Rosalind Russell, I remember. But it applies to Nancy, and I'm going to leave you with this, okay? There may be a lot of people out here who deserve this award, maybe equally as well, but nobody deserves it better than Nancy Perry.
All right. Thank you.
And look her up on Facebook, nancyproduction.com. She does classic car shows in Arizona. Thanks again.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience. There is said to be a defining moment in each one of our lives. Mine occurred at a tender age of 14. When I came home from Thornton High School, my dad called me into the lower level of the house. Now, there's 10 of us. I'm the sixth child, so I'm trying to figure out what did I do or what did I get caught at doing. So we go downstairs, and some of you may know him as Reverend Jesse Lee Holton, pastor of Mount Olive. My mom is here, sitting over there looking gorgeous. So I go downstairs, I got my head hung down, trying to figure out what did I do. And he said something very interesting. He said, "You don't think much of yourself, do you?" I thought, oh my goodness, how did he know? It's 10 of us. How did he pick me out of everybody? And I said, no. He said, well, I want to tell you something. He said, you're very special. God made you and defined you to do great things in this world. It is your choice to choose what you would do with that talent. And as he began to speak, I started to lift my head up and square off my shoulders. And I started to think, wow, I'm not so bad after all. But it was that special talk that I had with my dad coming home from Thornton that I knew that my life would be changed from that point on. Because who we are and what defines us is how we perceive ourselves and the great things that we do. And the greatest thing that you can ever do is do for others and care for others. So that's what we do, and that's what you do. I love to write. I used to love to go to the library at Thornton, and I would read and read, and my dad would tell me all the time, he said, you're going to be a writer one day. And those words became true because I published 3 books. And I donated to the principal today some of those books to Thornton Library because it's important for us to give back. I want to say thank you. I am honored to be even considered to be an alumni and to receive from the Hall of Fame. And I'm so thankful to God for all of my friends and family. My sister's walking back to the table here, and my daughter, my granddaughter is getting ready to have a baby, so my great-grandchild, I'm honored. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your evening.